My last evening at the Big Apple would have been terrific, and I was prepared to nail my own special domain perspective. Can't skirt an exemplary NY buzzword, right? Things were intended perfectly. I'd been in New York for 10 days, then, at that point, Boston for 7 days, and back to New York for only one night before the time had come to fly home. What anticipated was a night at the Williams Hotel in Brooklyn, getting up to speed with Broadway's modest last-minute arrangements, and going to that minuscule jazz club for a definitive NY goodbye. I'd be prepared to raise a ruckus around town by 2 p.m., not long after my transport Boston-New York had shown up. Or on the other hand, so I suspected as much. How about we skirt the way that the transport left Boston 2 hours late? How about we also skirt the way that the tram wasn't working, so I took the wrong train, not once yet 2 times, just to figure out that trains don't stop in all stations. Gracious, how fun. Quit worrying about my tremendous bag and knapsack jam loaded with stuff my companions purchased on Amazon, putting a strong additional 10 kilograms on my gear. Baggage that I needed to convey all over the metro steps on many times. Additionally, quit worrying about that my bag's handle bankrupt, so I wound up hauling it while its wheels continued snaring my Snickers and taking them off. From the start, what moved me along was the assumption for a pleasant lodging and the astounding night ahead. I surmise I ought to have been seen it coming, taking into account my karma that day. At the point when I got to the inn's location, it was a hardware store. You know, like, not a spot where you'd rest, yet where you'd purchase penetrates and nails. Nobody in the space had much familiarity with the Williams Hotel. You must mess with me. I had no financial plan for paying another inn. What's more, no energy to go for a walk with a messed up bag. Also, I was ravenous as damnation. Everything I could do was to cry tears of pain while eating a cheeseburger at Burger King. Then, at that point, serenely bounce on the train once more, go to the air terminal, and sit tight for my flight nearby. What followed was the best air terminal blues of my life. I attempted to make a bed with napkins, not quite so comfortable as one would suspect. I likewise stood by listening to a lady play the cello, ate a Campbell's soup, read a book about a young lady who needs to date a person, and rested sitting on a seat with the lashes of my knapsack folded over my legs. The next morning I told myself, whatever, I'll simply go with the flow. I just have a 6 hours trip to Los Angeles, then a 6 hours delay, then, at that point, a 14 hours trip to Sydney, an additional 13 hours delay, and a 3 hours trip to Christchurch. Simple. So you can envision after an excursion home that took around 72 HS, I was stirred up to get to Christchurch just to figure out my accomplice had nodded off and wasn't there to get me. In an equal universe, I got to the lodging, Broadway, and the jazz club. In any case, I missed the delights of financial plan travel, broken bags, non-existing lodgings, long delays, and crying a tear or two over the thing I knew would have been a decent travel story.